So now our Zoom recording started today. Everybody, our guest is going to be Desmond Ferguson. We have not started the audio recording yet, but you know how I like to do these little quick intros and then cut them out. And this is going to be a really good, an excellent interview with a guy who cares. And that's the name of the game when it comes to my show and the world and getting better. And so I'm going to talk Desmond into doing a dad talk and just giving us some of his tips, because he knows he works with youth all the time. You read his bio, it's like we need 1,000 more Desmonds. I mean, that's what we need. We need more like him, more people that are giving back to the community who have been successful and didn't rest on their laurels. So in any event, hey, welcome to the video portion of the radio show. Okay, so let's get this bad boy going here. Need you for about hour and 15 minutes between our breaks. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Right about 2:15. Yep, I got something at 2:20, 2:25. So yep.
Perfect. Okay, let's get this thing going here. Remember, I said 5 segments. Have you had a chance to think about a couple of bullets that you really want to cover, or can I just riff, or where do you want to go?
Let's just roll with it, man. You know, this not my first rodeo, so we can touch any and everything you want to touch.
I knew that because I'm reading this, but I'm like, this dude has done so much media. He's probably been interviewed a million freaking times. And it's like, this is just another thing for you. And I appreciate you doing that. And David DeMarco giving me your number and everything. So, and I will be coming over. I'll send you, I'll ask your permission to come over to your building when we get back from Wisconsin in about a week and a half, because this show is not going to drop for about a month anyways. And I want to get that B-roll, because when I get that B-roll from the building and you and I talk a little bit more in person, I'd like to splice that into my video and edit that into our video. So, and it'll be a nice little, it'll actually be a big commercial for you. And obviously this doesn't cost you anything. So, Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no problem.
Great. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's rock this bad mofo. Oh, I got to minimize this. There's always a million things to do with technology.
Oh, it never stops.
Never stops. Never stops. Got to keep going. Welcome everybody to the refirement zone. Walking through the front door, as I like to say, Lansing, Michigan, bringing it to you every single time, every weekend. We're going to bring you a good story. Last week, Aaron Murphy was joining us from Seattle, talking about managing life and balance. Aaron Murphy's been with us years and years ago. Guy's hilarious. You got to check out his dad talk he sent over to me about he's at the epitome of his earning status, but he's, according to his kids, his 4 teenagers and his 4 parents, him and his wife, he's the dumbest guy in the world. So you know what? Fits in with us. You know, it's all good. So I want to thank Aaron Murphy for doing that. Check that one out. Today, Desmond Ferguson, local legend in Lansing, going to call this one another refirement zone star, Desmond Ferguson, Moneyball Sports. If you have not heard of Moneyball Sports, you're going to hear all about it today, because today is the day that Moneyball Sports is going to make its debut on the Tom Matt Show. And hopefully we're going to do this a lot, because what Desmond Ferguson has done with his life and continues to do with his life is exactly where we want to drive life in general, because good people bring in good people, help youngsters, help all the young fellows and the young women out there, and it's all good. Mr. Desmond Ferguson spent his bio's like, it's real long, so I'm gonna paraphrase this here. Desmond, please forgive me if I leave something out here, but you've done a lot, man. You've refired like 14 times. You're the poster child for refiring. Spent 11 years playing professional basketball and refired in 2011. Like I said, guys refired 14 times. Been blessed to do something that he loves. Crazy some of the accomplishments that this man has. You know, he has done so many different things with people from all different walks of life, all colors, races, creeds, religions. He's played overseas in a bunch of different places: Holland, Bulgaria, Dominican Republic, beautiful place, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, all of these things. In 2004, he was blessed to reach his lifetime goal, playing in the NBA with the Portland Trailblazers. Congratulations on that day, Desmond. And in 2002, he started Moneyball Sportswear, where he felt he could provide a great quality uniform to basketball teams at a great price that is cheaper than many of his competitors. And that's for sure, because this stuff is getting really expensive. And we can talk about sports and the specialization of sports, and especially in the monetization of sports, because I've seen it with my grandchildren. Being a former coach at the, city league and travel league with softball, things have evolved so quickly in the last 10 years. It's mind boggling. This man will know what we're talking about here, but he wanted to provide a good service, or a value, and that's what it's all about. Desmond Ferguson is the founder and CEO of Moneyball Sportswear, celebrated professional athlete, current entrepreneur who demonstrates a passion for the game of basketball and dedication to community service. And this is the key here, the community service with Desmond, his commitment to development of at-risk youth athletes. God bless you, bro. I mean, it's like, how do these young people, we'll talk about this, but how do young people who don't have the financial support, how are they getting the specialized coaching that all these other kids that from more affluent areas, or maybe their parents are just using the credit card and they're just paying for all this stuff and paying for it later? I don't know. We're going to talk about it. A native of Lansing, Michigan. He is a Everett Viking. Go Vikings, baby. I mean, I didn't even tell you, Desmond, that I graduated same year as Irvin. We can talk about all that too. And I got a million freaking stories about that one. That those 3 years were crazy. Talk about some crazy times back in 1977. But he went on to University of Missouri, and then to U of D, University of Detroit, earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in Business Management and Accounting, while leading his team to 2 second-round appearances in the NCAA tournament. So anyways, you guys get the picture here, all right? We could go on and on about this thing. There's one thing I want to pull, because there was a great article that was done recently in Lansing State Journal featuring Desmond and Moneyball, because he's got a new facility that we're going to talk about here that he is taken out of the mothballs, basically from nothing to investing a lot of money and a lot of energy into bringing this building back to life, which I'm going to go over and get some video for. And we're going to make a nice little package here so you guys can see all this. When you think, this is a quote from that article, and then I'm going to turn it over to Desmond. When you think of Moneyball, I want you to think Lansing, Michigan, Desmond Ferguson. That's my kind of guy. I want to welcome to the radio program, my buddy, my new buddy, Desmond Ferguson. Welcome, Desmond. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. I definitely appreciate it.
No problem, man. So first segment, this is your life. Kind of gave a little snapshot just a second ago. Would you please just kind of fill in the blanks with that? Talk about your family, your journey a little bit, get everybody warmed up, get you warmed up. Tell the listeners all over, because our podcast is picked up all over the place. But please tell everybody about you, and let's get going.
Yeah, I guess it really starts off from the early beginnings. We moved here. I was 2 years old from Detroit. I was born in Detroit, but raised here. My mother, single parent mother, got a job with the state of Michigan, at the age of 2, and moved up here. So we didn't have any family or friends or anything like that here. So my mother, obviously made a way. And for me, sports was my outlet, was my friend, was my buddy, allowed me to do things. So I started off, playing soccer, running track. Football was my first love. And then, basketball was like the 4th sport that I started playing. But, growing up on the south side of Lansing, going at Atwood Elementary and Harley Franks Elementary and Gardner Middle School, and then obviously, Everett High School. But as I have grown older and look back, I realized how much my coaches played that father figure role in my life. And I thank them for a lot of success that I've had over the years. Going back to, track, I ran track for Capital City track. Lonnie Marshall was my first coach. I love track. I took second in the nation, Hershey, Pennsylvania. And at 8 or 9 years old, I used to run a quarter. So I used to love track. And then football, Charlie Johnson on the south side. We used to practice at, Harry Hill, Southside Panthers. He really installed that toughness in me, and that grit and that grind. And then, once again, my mother, working in a day and me having time, even getting out of school, I spent a lot of time at the Boys and Girls Club, and Boys and Girls Club really raised me. Learn how to shoot pool and playing basketball and going on trips, and just being on the south side and spending a lot of time, rather catching the bus, riding the bike. The south side, the coaches, Girls and Boys Club, those things, raised me and installed some things in me at an early age. And like I said, not having any family or friends here, I was able to gain a lot of friends through sports, through the Boys and Girls Club. that became people that became family, to me, that's we're still friends to this day. So although, we didn't have a bloodline or family here in Lansing, we've been able to create one just through the friendships and through sports. That's why I think it's very important for kids to play sports, not necessarily to try to go get a scholarship or, go to the NBA or NFL or what have you, but just for the camaraderie, the experience, the adversity of wins and losses, learning how to, be with a team and build with a team, unless you're in individual sports. So all those things have kind of helped install me as I grew to become a basketball player in college, and professional, and a businessman. So it really starts, the foundation is right here in Lansing, Michigan, doing those things, playing for those coaches. I think of middle school, I played with the Breakers. Then I played for the Warriors basketball, where we got a chance to travel and go down to Tennessee and win a national championship and do those things. So being able to start here in Lansing, but then grow and play through with my teams in other states and compete with other people from other states. And so that foundation of sports, and having the freedom and then having the best cheerleader, my mother, who cheerleaded, and she encouraged me to do these things. And even being a business owner, she always supported things I did. So it's, not being a father is very important, that I don't encourage my son to do the things that he likes to do, although I may want some things for him to do, things that he likes to do and passionate about. So that's kind of the early goings for me in that foundation.
All right, we're going to take a break here in a second. Desmond Ferguson's my guest today, everybody. We're calling this one another Refirement Zone star. As everyone knows, and I'm going to share this and I am going to brag about this, the Refirement Zone was born in Lansing, Michigan, just like Moneyball Sports was, just like so many other successful businesses, and we love promoting small business. We're going to continue to do this. This guy's doing it right. Desmond Ferguson has got it all dialed in. All the things he just mentioned was bringing back so many memories. All these teams he was talking about, the schools he was talking about. I know them all. Desmond Ferguson, Tom Matt Show, another Refirement Zone star. Desmond Ferguson, Moneyball Sports. That's how easy that is.
Yep, there we go.
Okay, I got to read here and then we'll jump back into, one thing I'd like to ask you about going forward is, even through my generation, because I graduated in 77, as I said, with Urban, and I've got a million stories. When I see you, we'll talk about it. We've got some serious, great laughs about all that. I mean, because, I played ball too. I didn't play basketball, but all the athletes, how it is. All the athletes hung out. You're an athlete at Everett. And so, but all of the Lansing athletes, all the way through your generation, there's been so many great talent. Is that something we can talk about? Is that something that you'd like to talk about? Is that a place where we could go?
Oh, definitely. Because a lot of different guys are inspiration for me right here in Lansing.
Okay, I'm gonna bring that up here, and we'll weave in Moneyball in and out. So just gonna have fun. Here we go.
Yeah.
Why when I silence that dang thing, that thing still goes on? Okay, here we go. Second segment of the Tom Matt Show is sponsored by Craig Stiles, Ameriprise Financial. Craig Stiles can help you plan for the life you want today and well into the future. Craig's the bomb. I mean, he's helped us so much. Going to see him tomorrow. Again, full disclosure, everybody, all of our Refirement Zone savings, all of it went to Ameriprise and Craig. When I refired from the university and Sandy packed it in from McLaren, we needed someone. Craig was our guy. He is our financial fitness guru on the radio program. There's so many episodes there for you to go listen to him if you're questioning it. But if you've got questions, you can reach out to him anytime. Mention our name. Please do drop our name. A couple of numbers coming at you here, everybody. 517-483-4893. Email craig.stiles@ampf.com. Craig.stiles@ampf.com is his email. 1-800-528-1355. And his offices are located locally here, 2400 Lake Lansing Road. Suite B is in Brilliant, or B is in Lansing, Michigan, 48912. The easiest way to get a hold of Craig or Brock, our sponsors, and some of our friends, is to just go to our homepage, tommattshow.com, bottom of the homepage, and there are banners there that you can easily click through to get you where you need to go. Matter of fact, I'm going to mention to Desmond, my guest today, Desmond Ferguson, if he wants to put Moneyball Sports on our website and have it click through to his website, we're gonna pitch that to him and see if he wants to do it. I mean, it's not gonna cost him anything. It's like, well, I want to support small business, as Craig does, as all of our sponsors do. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. So I want to thank Craig for creating Decideri Analytics, where we are making light of weighted decisions. That's his proprietary algorithm, puts him over the top. Here are stations that have carried us in the past. We've been on broadcast radio for 10 years now. All right. We've been doing this show for 12, broadcast radio for 10, podcasting for 12. I mean, WGSN 92.1 was the very first on the lakeshore of Lake Michigan, carrying us in Grand Haven, Michigan, on the lakeshore. Beautiful. WGIM 1240 AM, Lansing, Michigan, carrying us multiple times on the weekends. The flagship of the Michigan Talk Network, WJRW 1340 AM in Grand Rapids, Michigan. WKLQ 1490. Muskegon Whitehall, WYPV FM 94.5, Mackinac City, WKAR AM 870 News Talk at Michigan State University, carrying us on Sundays. If I haven't mentioned your call letters, please drop us a note, contact box on the website, send it to Sandy, because, you know, our family is talk radio. We love promoting good stories. I love stories. I love people who have been doing good things. And that's what we do here with this radio program, bringing new talent to our show and making new friends. It's all about connecting with good people. Want to thank again the Grubers, Steve and Ivy Gruber, the owners of the Michigan Talk Network, for carrying our content for many years now and having the faith in us to put us on syndicated broadcast radio. All right, back to the show. So excited to have our guest today. Desmond Ferguson's with us. He's a local legend in Lansing, really. I mean, and he's giving back to the community, and that's why I was so thrilled to get him on the show. And I want to thank David DeMarco for sharing the contact info, and I appreciate Desmond taking the time to do this. Looking forward to getting to know him in a much better venue when I see him. Another retirement zone star, Desmond Ferguson, Moneyball Sports is what we're calling this one. Desmond, now you being a local legend, you know Lansing inside out. I mean, you just talked about growing up here with your mom, and obviously your mom did a really good job. So kudos to her. Being a single parent, I totally empathize with that. It's a tough job. But Lansing, Michigan has been for a long time a very solid, a nurturing bed of great athletes, men and women. Would you like to talk about some of your mentors and some of the kids that you've mentored, you being a legend yourself, and some of the things that you've accomplished when you were coaching? And could you just go there for a minute and just kind of step down memory lane, please?
Yeah, the list is long. I didn't really start, finding out about who's hot, who's not, all that stuff as I got closer to high school. But I'll think of Kareem Washington, who played over at Sexton. Rizzy went to Loyola Marymount, right after that year after, Bo Kimball and, Hank Gathers. And then Sadie Washington, which was 2 years older than me. We were really close, and I got a younger brother from mine who were the same age. But as I became a pro, Sadie Washington was the guy who kind of taught me how to be a pro and who I worked out with in the summers. He obviously went on All-American at Western Michigan and now assistant coach at University of Michigan. I look at Carl and Charles Thomas, who's right from Everett High School, who, I follow their path in the sense of going mid-major, playing in the CBA minor league, getting a shot in the NBA, playing overseas. Career path is kind of similar. I look at Brent Scott, who also was an Everett graduate, who went on to Rice University and, great career overseas and played in the NBA, briefly. And as I got older, obviously, Magic is number one when you're coming from Lansing, one of the greatest point guard ever played the game of, period. So got a chance to meet him while I was in high school and somewhat have a relationship over the years. And then Dale Beard, another Everett graduate, as I was a head coach at Everett High School. I wanted to bring back winning ways and a winning tradition, and someone who had experienced a championship, and that was Dale Beard. Being on that 77 team, and he was my assistant coach. So being able to talk to him about all his experiences, while he was at Everett and beyond, and Magic best friend. So he's a guy that I've had a lot of great conversations with. So those are just a few names that I looked up to, guys that I looked up to, that I was able to, gain certain things from their experiences and try to, implement it into my own life and career.
I'd like to talk about Dale for a second because I know Dale really, really well. He's a year behind me in high school. We talk when I see him. It's like he, we have some great laughs when we see each other. He is one of the most awesome people. He's been on my show a couple of times, and talk about Dale a little bit. What did he help inspire in you? I mean, he's such an easygoing guy, and he loves the kids. Please talk about him. Just let's throw some love to Dale.
Yeah, just as a knowledge experience, being around the game for so many years at so many different levels. He's obviously now the head boys varsity coach ever at Sexton High School. But prior to him coming on staff with me at Everett, we went to two Final Four, Breslin trips. He was a coach of a minor league team in Battle Creek and different, minor league teams that came across here in Lansing. And obviously just his knowledge and experience overall. And then being able to, one call away from Magic at any given time. And many times he, put Magic on voice, on the voice recorder or on the phone with our players, to get them, amped up in the hype. And just great energy, man. Just great energy, always positive. And you need that. You need that type of great energy around you when you want to have a successful program or just be successful in life, period.
I totally agree. And thank you for giving us some of that feedback. Dale's an awesome guy. I love him. He's always been good to my family. He's just, I'll tell you, when we see each other, we can go down memory lane even more. There's a lot of backstory that goes with Dale that is very emotional for me. And if I talk about it right now, I'll probably start crying because he's had that big an impact on a lot of people's life, but mine personally, for sure, no doubt about it. And my recently deceased stepbrother, Dana Beachnaw. We'll leave it at there because if I talk any more about this, I will start crying. I promise you. All right. We're going to reset this thing, everybody. We're going to go to break here in a second. Calling this one another retirement zone star. Love it. Desmond Ferguson, Moneyball Sports. When we come back, we're going to talk about the building of this company. What's it doing? What's it taking? How you can benefit from some of the things that they offer, what they do offer, where are they, so forth and so on. Desmond Ferguson, glad to have him here. Tom Mann. When I see you, I'll tell you the story about, I swear to God, I will get emotional. There's no doubt about it because, there's a lot of history.
Yeah.
And, those guys, those were the era of just, and see, I lived in SoCal from 1980 to 95. So I saw Irvin quite a bit. Then when he got to be big, and when I was working basketball out at the university, and in my support staff role, I'd run into him at Thanksgiving a lot at some of the games. But it got to the point where we had to go to his camps in the summer because he just got so popular that you couldn't even get close to him. You know the drill. I mean, you're pro. I mean, that's the crazy thing about that lifestyle. All right, let's we got two segments here, and then we'll do that messages segment. So I want to talk these next two about business and Moneyball, if that's cool. And okay, here we go. Who the hell? I'm gonna leave that alone. Here we go. The simplest way to connect with get a hold of me, Sandy, our guests, is via our website, tommattshow.com. Hope you guys can go check it out. It's completely, it amazes me how it continues to evolve and it's redesigned. It's got so much more visual aspects to it. It's got all 12 of our topics there that you can easily peruse and find out if you're looking for, because we broadcast, we're not a narrowcast. We don't have like one topic. We have 12 topics, and we are very selective with who we bring on this radio program, who sponsors this radio program, because we want your trust. Our website, you can trust our website. The YouTube channels are doing phenomenal. Actually, I can't believe I'm even going to say this. First show I've ever said this because we just started doing it for some marketing purposes, and it's actually kind of fun, is we're on TikTok now. And you can go to the website and check us out on TikTok. Believe it or not, this 64-year-old dude is fully I laugh about just say I can't even say it with a straight face because I said I would never do it. And then what do? I do it. So go there. If you want to connect with us on Facebook, we're active on all of the socials, Instagram, not so much on Twitter, but yeah, well, I check it occasionally. Our mission is to build an engaged society and team, everybody. We want to connect with all of you. So whichever social is yours, please drop us the note. Remember, the refinement zone is just like what my guest is a huge prophet in talking about, Desmond Ferguson, but our mission with the refinement zone is all about the 3 C's of community, collaboration, cooperation, sharing stories and ideas, how to help people get better. How do we do this? So many people helped me get better when I was floundering. And as I've said, July 27th of this year, 2023 is my 25th anniversary of sobriety. Damn proud to say it. If anybody's having problems with that, you know this. I've talked about it a million times. Hit me up, go to the channel. Our email's there. Send us a note on the contact box and away we go. All right. Desmond Ferguson's our guest. Are calling this one today another refinement zone star from Lansing. Lansing is the home of the refinement zone. Desmond Ferguson, guy's amazing. He's refired 14 times. Moneyball Sports is his latest refinement zone. And the thing is you can take a business like Moneyball and it can refire in its own self. It can change, it can morph. And that's the whole thing about refiring. You know, you don't ever give up hope that you can do this. So let's talk about this. Let's do some business chatting here, Desmond. When you came up with the idea in 2002, 2003, 2004, back then, tell everybody about the journey of the story, and let's build it up to where you are now. So please, I'm so interested in the beginning of the story. Tell everybody how they can, maybe benefit from your story as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, well, my first year playing professionally overseas, I was in Holland with Thomas Kelly. He's from Grand Rapids, played at Michigan State. He was my teammate. And then we had Lansing's own Sam Vincent as our coach. So we had the whole Michigan connection over there. But I just started thinking, okay, now that I'm finally making some money, doing something I love, how do I want to hold on this money, invest this money? What do I want to do moving forward? So I started thinking about the future at an early age because I ran across a lot of athletes who made hundreds and thousands, millions of dollars, but none had nothing to show for it once they got done playing. So I was thinking about this at the age of 23, 24. So I knew I wanted to be involved with sports, some shape, form, or fashion. So the idea of making basketball uniforms came to mind. Not knowing how I would make them, how it would happen, it just came to mind. That's what I wanted to do.
It's just a dream. Just a dream.
Yeah, just a dream. Yep. So this is 2000, 2001, 2002. I go play in the Philippines. While I'm in the Philippines, what type of manufacturers do I meet? Manufacturers that can make basketball uniforms. So here I am thinking and having this vision. And then God put me in a spot a year later to actually carry out that vision. So we started off doing basketball uniforms. Why? Because I know how basketball uniform look, feel, size, everything. But now we move on and we do all sports. But because that was my basis, that's how we started. And I want to be involved with sports, some shape or form or fashion. And when I was in high school, all the uniforms looked the same. The only thing different was the name across the chest and the color. But companies were charging a premium for a basic uniform. Whereas after studying the market, we could come in and do a customized uniform for a cheaper price than a basic in-stock uniform. So
how does that work? Well, excuse me for interrupting you, but how does that work now? How can you come in and do a custom? Is it because you know the business better than the big guys, or the big guys they're just too big, or what's the story there?
Because we're in a sense cutting out the middleman, and we're going straight to you or straight getting manufacturing overseas. So it cuts down cost for us from that standpoint. When you plan a middleman like some of our competitors and stuff like that, it's a premium because everybody got to get a cut, everybody got to make some type of money from it. So yeah, being able to go straight to the source is what helped us.
You know what? Again, excuse me, but I don't know if you've ever read Shoe Dog, the book of Shoe Dog, Phil Knight. That's exactly what Phil Knight did with Nike. Yep. It's exactly what he did.
Yep, no question about it. Yep. So yeah, I definitely read that book and like to read books like that, pertaining to business and seeing, anybody that's successful. I like just reading about people and how they became successful. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. And then, one of the things that I really hang my hat on is building and maintaining relationships. And through the years, from all the players that I played with, coaches I've coached against, a lot of them are athletic directors, coaches at high schools, various places. So we had that relationship. We obviously got to have the products, but now we're able to get in the door and have that conversation. And then once they see our product, I think, we have a good chance of landing those those customers. So that's kind of how the business started. It has grown over the years because I was playing basketball for the first, 9 years of the company. So it was just kind of like a hobby, something to do on the side. And then I was gone 6 months out of the year. So out of sight, out of mind. And then it became a legit business. Then I grew it to something where once I retired in 2011, I could go and just fully do the business. So it was different steps and it grew over time, but we've been in business obviously 21 years and we do more than just uniforms now, as we have the retail side of business and 2 stores here in mid-Michigan area and 1 in Southfield, Michigan. So we got 2 sides, the uniform side and the retail side. And, that's kind of the fast track of, where we are now.
Well, let me step back here because let me reset that. If you just joined us today, everybody, Desmond Ferguson's our guest today. He is the founder, CEO of Moneyball Sports, a phenomenal company that is doing amazing things. And you turned your side action, kind of like we did with our radio show and our books and our media company here, into your refired life. And that's the whole thing about you guys. When the takeaway from that quick story from Desmond is he had a dream, and when you make the dream real, things start to come to you. Like him going to the Philippines, as he said, getting with these manufacturers, cutting out the middleman, just like Phil Knight did. When you have that thought and you have that vision, knock it down on that vision board, write it down, do whatever you got to do to make it real, and then let the fear go. Desmond, when everything I'm feeling from you and hearing from you, you had such a solid foundation. That had to come from your mom. I mean, that really did have to be that foundation had to come from her.
Yeah, I mean, you're speaking on that, like, it's crazy because my mom is a seamstress. And now that I'm in the clothing industry, like, I grew up stepping on pins and needles because she was sewing all through the house. And then on top of that, I first started, I was a neighborhood barber. So at the age of 12, 13, 14, 15, I was, cutting all the, kids' hair, rather be first day of school, prom. I was able to buy my first, car at the age of 16 off of $4 haircuts at the time. I was only charging $4. So she allowed me to use her basement to cut hair and make money. And that's kind of how the entrepreneurial spirit started, not knowing that I would, own an athletic clothing line, down the future. But that allowed me to think, I want to be an entrepreneur. I know I want to own a business, not knowing what that business would be.
That's such a great story. I'm glad I asked that question because, our parents, and that's the thing about the foundational thing and doing our hashtag dad talks and messages to our younger selves and all of this outreach that we're trying to do, like a Desmond Ferguson with him helping the at-risk youth. Desmond, we got a minute to go before we go to break here. And when we come back, we'll talk more about Moneyball, but I'd also like to talk about the monetization of youth sports when we come back. And share that input because it blows my mind. I've done interviews with my psychologist friend, Dr. Debbie Heiser, on the show, talking about these things and how it really has morphed into this thing. And now we have all of this other stuff going on with the colleges and the NIL and the new TV contract coming. And it's just sports in general has blown up. Like it's crazy how it's blown up. And we got an entrepreneur who knows the ins and outs. We're going to go to break. My guest today is Desmond Ferguson. He's another retirement zone star from Lansing. So happy to say that. Moneyball Sports, Desmond Ferguson. I'm Tom Matt. Yeah, I knew when you were talking about it, it's like, oh, your mom had to have that influence. Great story on the barber stuff. See, the entrepreneurial spirit in your soul has been planted from your mom. I mean,
no question. Yeah,
that's greatness, man.
Yeah.
That's great.
She was going to Douglas J, Douglas J Academy. She was doing nails while I was over there cutting hair. So yeah,
so awesome. I mean, it's like this is what I like to do with radio. So it's different than David's show. We talk a little sports here and there, not much. It's more than just the success and the failures and how we help people understand that you're not alone. And it's like, if you want to try
this, it's all about the journey. Yeah.
It's all about the journey. Exactly. It's all about the journey. Exactly. Matter of fact, I'm writing that down, but let's come back and talk about the monetization of sports, if that's okay. And, where all this is going, because I've seen some stuff, I'm telling you, man, over in Wisconsin with my grandkids. It's crazy. I got another read I'm going to do here, and then we'll get right back in. Here we go.
Okay.
Got to pay bills.
Yeah.
Third segment of the Tom Matt Show is sponsored by my bud, Brock Fletcher. all of our sponsors. We utilize their services. They're very special to us. It takes special integrity to become a sponsor of our show. I've learned that it's very rewarding. It's so easy for me to talk about people that I trust and I know. And so you can trust and you can know these people. And Brock Fletcher, full disclosure, buyer seller for Big House Holt, Little House Lansing. Thank you, Mike Dedman, for doing all that for us. The selling team of Keller Williams Realty is the best. Brock is an investor who can either give you immediate cash offer for your home or help you set a deadline and price. The thing about Brock is, again, he's our reality of real estate expert. The thing about being a sponsor is he gets his own little segment on the show and comes on quarterly, but there's 15 or 16 shows there. And we talked the last time he was here recently, we talked about the trends in real estate. Real estate is something, real estate, financial, mental health, physical fitness, nutrition, all of these things are very, very important. All of these things are on our website. Brock is the guy. Okay. A couple numbers coming at you. 517-853-6408. Go online to kwsellingteam.com, kwsellingteam.com. Search Brock Fletcher. Again, homepage of our website, tommattshow.com. You can go there at the bottom of the page. That's where our sponsors are and our friends. And I'm definitely going to put Moneyball up there if Desmond would like us to. And we will do that for you so that you can help find them, help you. He will help you become educated and not lose money. And the whole thing about nowadays, it's just eliminate the stress. If you can find the people you can trust, like a Moneyball Sports for your uniforms or for advice or for your children that are maybe an outstanding athlete, you need to go to people like Desmond, like Brock, like Craig Stiles. These men, these women that we have on this radio program, they're straight up. They know what they're talking about and they're honest. And that's why they're on our show. All right. Here's the super secret number to Brock, right to his pocket, 517-303-3262, 303-3262. That's his cell phone number. Please text him, tell him you heard it from Tommy, because all my radio friends know me as Tommy, which is totally fine. And it kind of cuts through the clutter. He will help you. He helped us so much, and we love both of our sponsors and all of our guests too. And the listeners, you guys are the best. I mean, thank you so much for doing what you do. All right, back to our show today. Calling this one another retirement zone star, Desmond Ferguson. Been wanting to talk to this young man for a long time. Moneyball Sports, been following his career. Before we get into the monetization of sports there, Desmond, your league, your Moneyball Sports League that you started, I had a gentleman at the gym today actually asked me about it. How is that? Is that still on? Is that still going? I mean, you started, and that was a massive program. Is that still happening?
Yep. We'll be making an announcement tomorrow about that. But yeah, we've been doing that since 2004. We obviously didn't do it for 2 years. Pandemic 2020, 2021. Last year was the first year we came back after being off 2 years, and it was great being over at Holt High School. They accepted us with open arms, great venue after being over at Aim High for the previous 8-9 years or however long it was. But yeah, we'll be back with that, again for the 18th summer, I believe it is. Yep.
Tell the listeners that are locally here in the Mid-Michigan area, what they can expect if they want to come to an event over there at Holt. Is it going to be at Holt High School again?
Yeah, yep. So the Moneyball program, it consists of, college, junior college, and professional basketball players, more so kind of built around the MSU guys that we've been able to add. I grew up playing St. Cecilia down in Detroit, Flint Pro-Am. Lansing didn't have a Pro-Am. So the guy who ran Pro-Am, Glove, down in Detroit, and kind of walked me through the steps of doing it here. But since we didn't have as many pros, I wanted to build around the college guys. Went and sat down with Izzo back in 2004. He was down with it, and Michigan State guys have been playing every since. So we we play 2 days a week on Tuesday and Thursdays. We go like 6 weeks straight. All the games are free to the public. It's just a great, fun family atmosphere for basketball enthusiasts and people who just like to see some good games overall.
I want to help you promote that. So whatever I can do to help you with that. How do you, okay. So you're in your retirement zone, you got Moneyball, then you got Moneyball Sports, then you got Moneyball, the tournament going on, the basketball, the 6 week Moneyball Sports going. I mean, what's your secret for maintaining your time as an entrepreneur to have that quality of life that you want? How do you do it?
Still, it's a work in progress. But I do have obviously I'm the head of the snake and, the face of the business, but I do have a great team around me that helps me carry out, the business from the day to day, the pro-am, the events that we do. But finding that balance between, growing the business, dedicate my time, much that's needed for the family, as well as, to myself, mentally, spiritually, physically, is an everyday challenge. So it's something I'm still working on. I haven't mastered yet, but hopefully one day I will.
It's the journey, man. Like we talked about, and during our break, it's the journey for sure. All right, let's talk about the monetization of youth sports, because my fear, being a guy who came from a broken family myself, we had nothing. We were, but back then nobody had anything. I mean, it was all city league. It was all volunteer. It was all, and that was that. And our big outlet was our sports: baseball, football, basketball, wrestling, at Walter French, at Everett High School. But nowadays they got kids that are specialized, and they got coaches that want, they'll talk out of both sides of their face, and they'll say, yeah, I want you to go ahead and, share your time with other sports. But then they don't want you to do that. They want you to stick with their sport. You know what I'm saying? Talk about that, please. Talk about the monetization, and what do you think parents should be trying to do to make their kids the best kids that they could be if they show some athletic talent and some desire to be involved?
Yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know where we're going with youth sports. The fun is being taken away. It's not genuine fun. It's everyone has an ulterior motive now, including parents. 7-year-old kid, want to be rated in the country, talking about, what he gonna do, what he needs to be a pro. No, he needs to learn how to win, how to lose, or she, how to play with teammates, how to overcome adversity, and then learn the game of sport and understand it. So where sports is going, in particular at the youth level, everybody knows it all. We don't have enough referees because the referees are being disrespected. We're in a weird space where everybody thinks and most of the people that think they're experts has never done it themselves, so they're living their dreams through their kids, and it's ultimately hurting the youth. So I'm not comfortable where we at, although there's still a lot of good in youth sports. There's still a lot of good coaches, a lot of good teams, but they're being pulled in so many different directions. They're being told one thing at home or through social media, and not what the coach is saying, right, wrong, or indifferent. So it's we're in a weird space, to say the least. We're in a weird space.
Very much so. And the whole thing is it's what you said, very simply put, funds being taken away. Yeah. That is the problem. The problem is we're putting a dollar sign on our kids' youth. The youth is, when a kid is a kid, it's a very, very short window. And let me tell you, my granddaughter's 10 years old. She gets a lot of good, excellent coaching, but they have to pay for everything. You have to pay for everything. So yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough. Do you help others? And I need a quick answer because we got about 2 minutes to go before we go to break here, but you help sponsor kids to get some coaching, or you do some things. What are some of those aspects that Moneyball does to facilitate that?
Well, since 2004, we've done a absolutely free basketball clinic for the kids of Lansing. And that's when we, just dedicate our time to sharing our experiences with the youth, teach them about the game of life, not just the game of basketball. I was a coach from 2012 2017, head coach at Everett High School. So I was able to really install some of the principles that I think that helped them become great young men. And now they are young men, fathers, and, everyday citizens. So those are things that I have done personally. And, we continue to do, free camps here in Lansing as well as Detroit.
Congratulations on that. I really applaud you for those efforts, all of the ways that, as you said, the head of the snake has to manage his life. And, it's challenging as heck. And I'm going to carry this through to break, everybody. Let me reset this thing, because when we come back, we're going to talk again, all the stations that don't have the fifth segment, please go to the podcast, because we're going to do messages to our younger self with Desmond Ferguson from Moneyball Sports. And of course, Desmond's going to have probably a million different stories that he could share with us. We'll get a couple from him. Please go to the podcast with that. If you're going to be with us, fifth segment is always fun. You can find the whole fifth segment on our the RFZ channel on YouTube. We put the video up there. I cut it out, edited it up a little bit, and you can get that through our website, tommattshow.com. Desmond Ferguson's our guest. Moneyball Sports, another retirement zone story. I'm Tom Matt. We'll be right back. All right, here we go. So this is where, as soon as I do this little quick read, which I got to get my card. Oh, it's right there. Okay. Because we offer a free service about doing some speaking. And we could talk about this when I see you too, about some of the guys that I have that we do this pro bono speaking engagement. If you ever have something where you need to have some speakers come in and I facilitate, I've done a lot of group speaking. I'm sure you have as well. But I have like Craig and Brock, and, we just have the MC who kind of talks about this thing, church groups, youth groups, whatever, help you, maybe sell some tickets. And then I'll throw it to you for your plug your website, books, speaking engagements, specials you got going on. Whatever, wherever, take your time, wherever you want to go. Then we'll go to the messages. Okay.
Okay.
Did I ever tell you guys I love doing talk radio? I just love doing talk radio. Talk radio is so much dang fun. And now we do all this video stuff, and it's just like bringing you great people and stories is a blast. And that's what this read is all about here. If you're a nonprofit church, school, or youth group, and you got a speaking engagement coming up and you want to spice it up with a little talent, I'm your guy. I will help you facilitate that thing. Bring in a Craig Stiles, financial fitness. Cause we got to teach our kids how to be financially solid. Like Desmond Ferguson was talking about being an entrepreneur when he was like 12, and he was cutting hair in his mom's basement, making money and buying his own car at 16 years old. You got to have leadership, and you got to have mentors out there that can help young people figure it out, show them some love. We really do care. And it's like, what, all this stuff you see on social media, 50-50, half of it's good, half of it's not, but we will be happy to facilitate this for you. Just go to our website, tommattshow.com, contact box. Tell us what your organization is trying to do. Kind of a little bit of an application to say, hey, we need you to do this, and we'll get back to you. Remember, if you want to pay us, that's fine, but that's not the purpose of this. The purpose is to do pro bono. We want to work with the community because, remember, it's the 3 C's. It's always about community collaboration and cooperation. That's that. Hit us up on the website, tommattshow.com. Desmond Ferguson's our guest today, Moneyball Sports. Desmond, how would you like people to connect with you? Come over to the new facility. We haven't even talked about the building at all. We'll try and get there after we do the messages segment, but how would you like people to connect with you? And then go ahead and talk a little bit about the new store.
Yeah, first thing is, anybody in the world can connect with us at moneyballsportswear.com. Not everyone is here in Michigan that can, physically come to one of our stores, but our new world headquarters, 927 West Saginaw Street, Lansing, Michigan, 48915. That's our main spot. We have a spot in Okemos and Meridian Mall, and our third store location is in Southfield, Michigan as well. So those are the ways you can contact us, and social media, Moneyball Sportswear on all platforms.
There you go. Sweet and simple. And what I'm going to do is going to go over to Moneyball, to the new building, and I'm going to meet Desmond in person. I'm going to shoot a little bit of B-roll video to go along with our interview video that we have here, put it all together. And then you can see more of what we're trying to do, because I really am serious about the retirement zone and helping share these great stories of entrepreneurial work. It takes so much effort and so much energy, but these, and as Desmond said in that quote, and I'll say it again, and this is a quote from Desmond from that State Journal article: when you think of Moneyball, I want you to think of Lansing, Michigan. Desmond Ferguson. All right. Messages to my younger self. You can take one, you can have two. We got about 8 minutes to go in the segment. What would be something that you'd like to share with your younger self that maybe you wouldn't want to do over again, or a message to a youngster nowadays that, hey, you might want to think about doing, I did that once and it didn't work out so great. And maybe you want to try and do this. You know where I'm going with all of this, because we all have been there as youngsters. Please go ahead, Desmond.
Yeah, for me, I was kind of a shy young, person in a sense. So I would probably say just speak up a little more, ask more questions, engage with more people, because as I stated, as I've grown older, the relationships more than anything have allowed me to grow as an individual and us as a business. And you never know, when at basketball camp at the age of 7, when that guy next to you or that girl next to you might be a doctor or a lawyer, anyone that may be able to help you later in life, and you can help them as well. So if I was to talk to my younger self, I would just say to ask more questions and to engage with people a little more.
That's awesome. That's a perfect message. This is why I like doing the messages, Desmond, because every one of my guests that comes on has a different little message. And it doesn't have to be anything super big. It doesn't have to be anything profound, because even the smallest message is profound. And to be a little more outgoing, getting with a guy like me who likes to talk so much. I was a shy guy until at Walter French, when my mom made me take a speech and drama class in the 8th grade at Walter French, that made me come out of my shy self. I was an athlete, did all that stuff, but you know what? That was a key point in my life. And I will forever be grateful to my deceased mom for giving me the opportunity and kind of pushing me in that direction. All right, Desmond, let's talk more about the building, because that big article they did in the State Journal on your world headquarters, man, you took on that's a big risk, man. You took a huge risk. You put a lot of energy, a lot of money into that facility. I can't wait to see it and shoot some video for you and for me. Talk about that. I mean, you had to do a lot. I'm sure there was a lot of soul searching on that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, sometimes when you don't know, sometimes that's the best. I got some friends that's in the commercial real estate game. They were like, man, you crazy for first project you ever done as a brownfield. What are you doing? But I'm like, hey, I had a vision and we was able to get here. So yeah, man, I would pass the building every day. I felt this area, this corridor is one of the last areas in Lansing that hasn't been redeveloped. When you think of a real town, or old town, I think the capabilities are here. And also want to do it in a community where I think we were needed and we could add value. More importantly, but yeah, when I got the building, we had 6 feet of water in the basement. The floor was caved in. It was a mess. It was a mess. Yeah, but I had a vision for our business. Now, if I was just a developer looking to maybe try to put another business here or something, maybe a little tougher. But I know that I wanted Moneyball Sportswear to grow here, and I felt that once we started, it would be a domino effect. And now the city is making this corridor. They're focused on this corridor to try to do some other things, and a couple of the buildings have been purchased. But more important, and also it's about ownership. We've been in business, 21 years, and we pretty much rent and leased, and with the utilities and employee payroll and all that stuff. The pandemic showed me that we can be we can be better in business if we cut off a little trim here and there and own some things and have some equity, just be more efficient overall. And that's kind of what I see the big vision. We can be more efficient with our own building as we continue to grow.
So you took some of the things and this is the thing about the transfer of what you learn in sports as an athlete, being efficient, effort, all these terms that Desmond was talking about. So you took the efficiencies that you learned in athletics and transferred that into business. And this is one of the reasons that if you're a parent out there and you have a child who's a little bit younger and you want to help them kind of blossom, this is one of the reasons that competitive athletics can be a really good thing for kids, because as you said, Desmond, a couple of times, it's good to learn how to lose. It's good to learn how to be a teammate. I mean, can you please talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it just teaches so many valuable life lessons, and it teaches you how to deal with it. Because one thing about life is we're gonna have some adversity, and I think sports is, it mirrors that, in business as well. Business is the ultimate competitive sport. When you play in athletic sports, okay, you win, lose, you still living, you're good. Whereas when you're talking about business, that may determine on if that's mortgage at home or food on your table. Like it gets real. So I enjoy the challenge, but that comes from the background of sport. And ultimately, anytime, any business you deal with, you pretty much have to deal with a team. So once again, that team aspect that sport has taught me, and able to, carry that over to business as well.
What keeps Desmond Ferguson sharp? What are the things that you do regularly that you attribute to your success as being, you're really healthy, you're obviously working your butt off? What are some of the things that you might want to share with other people out there that you're doing regularly? The little things, the simple things. What do you do that enable you to become you?
Yeah, early on, I learned some of the most successful people in life are those that wake up early. So I hated waking up early at a young age, but even at Everett, man, I would get up at 5:30 and get shots in early. Why? Because I know my rival across town at Eastern, at Sexton, they were asleep. So it gave me advantage because I wasn't the fastest, the strongest, the biggest, you know what I'm saying? But I felt I had a good work ethic, and I was able to carry that work ethic from sports over into the game of business. So I think that's kind of, for me, where it started, and then the competition. But as I'm growing, I think becoming closer to my purpose. Yes, I love business, I'm passionate about it, but I think my purpose ultimately is to be able to help others and inspire others, and I think we're doing that here at Moneyball Sportswear.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good tip. What about your fitness, your nutrition? What are some of those things that you're doing to kind of
Yeah,
keep?
yeah. It's crazy because when I was playing and working out 2 or 3 times a day, I'm like, I don't see how I can never not work out and sit at home and get a stomach and all. But now I see that, when my main focus is to wake up and work and focus on the business. But yeah, lately I've been trying to get me a couple miles in, walk, try to get my push-ups, my sit-ups, eat healthy. I gave up meat about 12 years ago, so I think that has helped me in my health journey. But yeah, I try to, get up and pray and meditate. I'm not always consistent in everything that I do, but these are things I try to do on a daily basis. I'm not always successful, but that's the goal.
What's a quick takeaway? We got a minute and a half to go. What would you like to leave the show with? First time, thank you for being with us. And what's your takeaway from this first episode on the Tom Matt Show?
My main thing would say it's never too late. Don't quit. I think that's what kind of separates us from other businesses. It's many times that you can quit, but we've been able to grow and be around for 21 years because I didn't quit, and I could have quit during the pandemic. I could have quit during the financial crisis 08, 09, and so not quitting and finding your passion, doing something you love and sticking with it.
Desmond Ferguson, great job. Thank you so much for being with us. Never too late. Got 3 lines under that one. Never too late. Messages, be connected, be somebody who's out there sharing, meeting people, doing those things. If our show fits your business or group's mission, we want to be of service to you through our guests. Please visit Moneyball Sports. We're going to put Moneyball Sports on our website if Desmond wants us to do that. And then you can click through there. We'll be happy to do that. Always remember, before you can share love with others, you must love yourself first. Close the show with every show we close. Thanks again to my guests, Desmond Ferguson, Sandy, Craig, Brock, and of course, the legend, Mitch Anderson. Have a great week, everybody. Go out and ignite your life. This is the Refirement Zone. I'm Tom Matt. Tom Matt Show is brought to you by Boomers Rock Media. We want to bring your story to life. Thank you so much for listening. That's it, brother. I mean, let me save this file. Save project. Good job, man. I will definitely be in touch with you, and for sure, get your permission to come over and, when you got a half an hour or so, we can kind of sit down and just take some B-roll, and maybe I'll pick up I was looking at some of the stuff on the website. Nice website, by the way. Yeah, for sure. And so let me know if I can do anything to help you out, but I'd like to, nurture this relationship, just like you're talking about with a relationship, Desmond. Anybody in Lansing, if you're a Lansing native, I'm supporting you because I'm a Lansing guy. I was gone for a long time, just like you were gone for a long time. I've been back. We sold our big house in Holt. We moved back to Lansing. We're right over by Lions School. We got a little house over here. It's beautiful. We love it. Love the neighborhood. And so I'm all about it, and, the business leaders around here, they're all good. Tim Damon's a good friend of mine. I'm sure you know Tim.
Yep.
He's a great guy. He was just on the show recently. So we're going to do more and more of this kind of stuff. So you let me know if you got something you want to promote. We'll be happy to do that. And I will, you'll have a green light to come back on the show anytime, because this is awesome. And when you see what we're going to do with the video, when I splice all this stuff together, because I'm telling you, since I refired from the university for the last 7 months, I've been working on all my video skills, editing, recording, editing, and it's all good. All right. We made your deadline. You can go make your meeting. Go,
yeah, man. I appreciate you having me, man. Enjoyed it, and yeah, we'll definitely be in touch.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you very much, and thanks for what you're doing. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Talk to you soon. I'll be in touch. All right. Bye.
Thanks. Hello.
Guys like him, I swear to God, makes me want to just choke up. And I'm serious. It takes a village to build a freaking community. And we got to do this, because it's really important that we do this and we help our youth. And Desmond Ferguson's doing it the right way. And I love doing shows like this. If you got a suggestion, you want me to do something else, you want me to do something a little different, I'm happy. I'm listening. I want to be of service to all of you out there. And I thank my sponsors, Craig, Brock, Desmond, for coming on. So awesome. Thank you guys all for, guys and gals. Thank you all for watching, listening, being fans of the show. Please go to the Facebook pages. We're on TikTok now. Go to the website. I can't even believe I'm saying that, but it's actually kind of cool. So go check it out. There's lots of exercise stuff there. A lot of me dinking around. So check it out. Again, thanks to Desmond Ferguson. Moneyball Sports. Love it. So awesome. Peace out, everybody. Love you.